Hello, welcome to the little Quarantalk podcast with radiocrazygirl. We have Emily from Hot 99.5 in DC. How are you?
I'm good. I'm like in
From
my
quarantined home
outfit like all day, every day.
So
sweat.
comfy. I'm jealous.
The comfiest.
All right, so how has it been quarantined doing live broadcasting in your home?
It's interesting. Literally, so my bed is like right there, and I'm sitting at my desk where I have like all of my radio stuff literally right next to me. So that's my commute.
Wow.
Yeah, normally my commute could be up to like an hour. So it's nice to be able to just like pop out of bed and jump on the air.
That's awesome. So on a normal day in the studio, what does just like a standard show look like for you?
So I do nights. So I also do overnights in like 9 other markets. So I typically like try to come in early, do my show prep, try to knock out some of those shows also, and then I go live at 7 o'clock at night, live until midnight, and then finish up like whatever I haven't finished before.
So since you do broadcasting in other cities as well, how has that been from your home? Is that super
I was
different?
literally just talking to my mom about this. It's kind of weird because I feel like I have like the luxury of being able to like do it kind of like more whenever when you're home. I mean, it's right here.
Yeah.
It's like the separation between like work and home is like kind of gone, you know, like I can jump in and do things. So it's kind of weird. And it's just, I feel like I know so much about all of these different rules that are going down in different cities. And it's kind of interesting to see how different cities across the country are taking this situation differently and treating it differently. That I think has been the weirdest thing to me because you're in Texas. You guys are taking it like very seriously.
Oh yeah.
But like some other states are like behind when it comes to like the lockdown kind of thing. So
yeah, I don't even think that every state has done the lockdown right now. So
I think for me, just like knowing like, oh, well, this city's doing this and this city's doing that. It's just like on a personal level, it's been interesting to see how different parts of the country are handling this whole thing differently.
So has your content been forced to change in the comfort of your own home now, or has it stayed pretty consistent with when you were going in the studio?
It's definitely a little bit different. I mean, I think listening patterns are a little bit different too. People are listening more at home, rather than like in their car on a commute. Or I mean, they are still commuting, but they're working and like their mindset is different, you know, when you're commuting to a job that you don't know what's going to happen, like your mindset's different. So naturally the content has definitely shifted a little bit. I am like, I don't take myself seriously as a person at all.
I don't either. I feel you on that.
So I have been trying to keep my content as like fun and light as I possibly can. It's definitely different though, like not being in a live studio because I do my shows live every night, but we can't really do that from here because we don't have the main board where we are. So I'm doing it. I like to call it like semi-live, where like I'll track a break, but it'll only be like a couple minutes or so ahead of when it actually airs. So I'm still doing the show in real time. It's just not like firing the mic and like opening it up. So that's been strange because I'm used to like say something and then like see the phone lines or like see the interaction a little bit more immediately. Whereas now it's a little bit more creative, you know? We finally got a way to like tie the phone line to where I'm at. So I can get phone calls if I want to.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because that's...
Yeah, I haven't done it yet. Just because I've been like kind of utilizing social media more. And for content. It's been interesting. It's definitely been a shift. And there is like, at least in my own head, I feel like slightly disconnected.
Yeah.
Things in a way.
Definitely.
But it's a cool, like, I live in the heart of DC, whereas the radio station is in like a suburb, and being able to like look out my window and like see what people are physically doing like on the street of DC is cool. And that's not something I'm used to when I'm doing my show. So in that respect, it's cool to be able to like connect in that way.
Yeah. Different scenery out of your new studio window.
My new studio.
So one of my friends actually gave me this question. He was really curious about this one. how do you continue to broadcast your message to your audience with everything going on?
My message. What do you mean?
I guess just like everything that you stand for. How do you keep everything true to yourself with such an insane, pandemic, stressful time going on?
Got it. I feel like transparency is really important. Like the day we all took these broadcast kits home, we made it clear, like, hey, this is weird. I'm broadcasting from my bedroom right now. This is a new experience. Like, I had my roommate on, and I like talked about being with my roommate and like what it was like being in a situation where like her and I have only lived together for 5 months and we have very different schedules. She works during the day, I work normally at night. And so the time that we're actually in our apartment together is normally pretty much just on the weekends. And we've gone from that to almost 24/7 being with each other, or at least like occupying the same space. And like putting that onto my show, I really think like transparency is, people are going to relate to that, So you want to, everyone's going through the same thing. Like, we're all going through the same exact thing. So really just being like open and honest about it. And like, I have no problem. I got on the air one day and was like, I'm going through it today. Like, I found this really inspiring Instagram page. If you want to follow it, like, I posted it here. So I think transparency and honesty is the best way to go through something. I mean, that's how you would with a friend, And
absolutely.
I think right now it should just be like a companion and a friend.
No, I love that. And I feel like I've definitely been turning to radio more for that, like the live on air everything right now as well. So I've been sitting in my room alone, and instead of turning to like, just Spotify having music in the background because I can't go out and, do my normal day-to-day stuff. It's nice to be able to like turn the radio on and, listen to everybody. So how did you get into radio, and how is right now like different than what you maybe anticipated?
So I got into radio. I kind of knew I wanted to do something either in like the music field or media field. I love singing and I love music. It's like my passion. And I kind of fell into a radio internship while in college at like a local radio station. That was a morning show. I guess like a super backstory on like why specifically radio. There was a period in my life where I was a camp counselor in like this really remote area in Michigan. And I found out that my grandfather was basically going to pass away while I was at this camp. Yeah. And so my parents called and they were like, you need to leave camp right now and like drive to the hospital 3 hours away. Like, this is it. So I left camp, and like when you are at a summer camp all summer, like your brain is not in reality. Like, you're like, well, like, ooh, great. And so it was just almost like a shock to my system to like go from that to like reality. So I got in the car, and sometimes when you're listening to music, it's like your brain just wanders. And I needed like, this was before podcasting too. This was before podcasting was like really a thing. So I turned on, actually it was Sirius XM at the time. They had this radio station. It was Cosmo Radio, because I was in like this really remote area that didn't really get like good radio reception. So I turned on the Sirius and I found Cosmo Radio, and it was like just people talking to me. So my mind could fixate on one thing, and it was like, I don't even remember what they were talking about. I think it was like a mixologist was like talking about drinks or something, and like just like what kind of drinks paired well, like such like nothing content, but I was like so into the conversation, and it was so personable and so relatable that this 3-hour drive just like blew by. And I still remember this day, like vividly in my brain. I remember finding the radio station and being like, ooh, yes, this is what I needed. And then I remember being 5 minutes away from the hospital and being like, oh my God, like I'm about to go do this. Like that one drive, like fully took my mind out of whatever situation that I was in and took me to another place that I needed so badly in that moment. And then I was like, I want to do that. I want to be that person for someone else. I want to be able to take their mind somewhere else and be able to give that gift to someone else. So that's kind of what sparked choosing specifically radio.
I love that.
Yeah. And then I got like a random radio internship in college, and the rest is kind of history.
Wow, that's awesome. I don't think I've ever heard a story similar to that. That's so awesome. I love that.
Thanks. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. that
Yeah,
one.
So how is right now just, I mean, different than you had anticipated?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's different in the fact that broadcasting from your bedroom is just like, it's a weird like energy and atmosphere. I mean, like when you're in a studio, you feel like you're broadcasting to whoever. When you're in your bedroom, it almost brings you back to like that like imaginative state of like a little kid. Like, I don't know if you ever pretended that you were like broadcasting live from somewhere.
Absolutely.
Like, kid, you know, like has that thing where they're like in their bedroom and they're like, hey, I'm on the red like whatever you
absolutely.
do.
Yeah.
And like part of me feels like I'm like just doing this show in my bedroom, and then it's like I have to remember like this is like on the radio right now. People are listening. Like I mean, obviously I know it's real, but there is like this side to me that's like I'm just like in my bedroom, like having fun.
Oh, so yeah.
It's a weird. It doesn't feel. It definitely doesn't feel the same, at least to me spatially, just because I'm a really like space affect me kind of person. But at the end of the day, like our job is still the same. Like we're still there to be your companion. We're still there to entertain you. The information that we're putting out there. I mean, we're not a news source. We are definitely for like the information that you need and the important facts. But like at the end of the day, our job is still the same. So the job itself hasn't really changed. It's just kind of shifted maybe the way we're doing it. Like I said, utilizing social media more, whether it's like Instagram. I have this soundboard that can like hook up to my phone and it's great. Like I've been having so much fun with all the sounds. I can play like, instead of maybe telling people to call like the station line, I'll tell them to like send me a video message and I can air it that way. So the interaction.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So stuff is still the same. It's just being more creative with how you're putting it on the air physically.
Definitely. No, I think that's so interesting, especially seeing everybody with their little mini boards at home and just having a microphone hooked up to their laptop on a desk in their bedroom. It's crazy.
Right.
When did you start broadcasting? I'm sorry. When did you start broadcasting from home?
When did I start from home?
Yeah.
I think it's been like 2 weeks. Now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've had a little bit of time to adjust at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, the first week was definitely weird, but now it's just
almost normal. To have a 2-second commute.
We're getting there. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Maybe by the third week it'll be normal to just roll out of bed in your pajamas and
Exactly.
You know.
I haven't like showered for the first time in forever today, like changed my clothes. Yeah, I'm that person for sure. But I honestly wear this every day to work anyway because I work nights normally and I'm really in the building at night. So, I mean, like, it hasn't changed that much, to be honest, because I wear
you can just pretend like you changed your shirt occasionally when you actually go in the studio.
Yeah, I can get away with wearing the same thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, social media, who knows? No one knows.
Yeah. Are you still going into the studio for anything at all, or is it completely just quarantine from home?
Yeah, we can't get in our studio right now. I know some people, there are certain people that are designated. I think that there are certain people right now that can. I think the morning show, they're still going. But I was going for a little while just because it was easier to do from the radio station and we had the choice to do it. And I was like, well, it's easier, so I'll just do it. And then they gave us these kits. And I think I got the kit and I went back like 1 or 2 more times just because I was like, easier. And then I didn't. And then they made it so we couldn't. So.
Definitely. What are some of the biggest distractions working from home?
Myself, because my bed is literally right behind me, and it's like so easy to be like, okay, let me just like sit for like 5 seconds and then like I'll do this, you know. I have like the attention span of a fly, so there's that.
Oh my god, me too.
Also, like I said, I live right in downtown DC. Like right out this window is like, well, not downtown, but I live in DC, like the heart of the city. So there's passing by, there's people on the street, just like doing whatever. My roommate has 2 dogs. Obviously radio is like a sound driven thing, so trying to make it sound as good as possible. But beyond that,
I know I'm having a hard time in my little home studio or whatever, just trying to get it completely silent. Like there's been thunderstorms and I'm like, no, you can hear it.
That's kind of the beauty of like working from home, and then it just plays into that like authenticity of like, this is the reality we're in right now.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's like, this is me quarantined from my, noisy bedroom.
Yeah.
Okay, so my mom has a bonus question for you. She
Okay.
really wanted me to throw this in there. What was your first impression of me?
I can't remember if you followed me first or I may have followed you first, because I feel like I remember you popping up all over my Instagram in like different radio stations or just with like everyone that I knew in radio. I was like, this girl knows everyone. And I thought it was like pretty commendable, because you don't like see a lot of people so passionate about certain things anymore, or like vocal about it necessarily.
Oh yeah.
Especially radio, like someone your age being so passionate about something that you don't even work in yet is just super cool. So I almost like feel like I might have followed you before you followed me. I can't remember, because I was like, I got like very intrigued by this girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. I think it's so cool to see someone that's like so passionate about it.
Makes you
feel like I'm doing something like worth.
You absolutely are. You absolutely are. No, I love it. So you were the one who actually suggested this idea to me, and I stayed up for like 48 hours straight, and I was like, how do I make it work? How do I do this? When can I start? Oh my God.
A day.
Yeah. No, and it just sparked the whole, it hasn't even been a week since you suggested it to me, and here we are. So I'm very excited to have you on here. And is there anything else that you would like your listeners to maybe know?
I just think it's like, it's a weird time right now, and we're all in this together. And if you do need that source of comfort and companionship, radio is always here for you. We're not going anywhere. So turn us on and reach out via social media, whether it's the phone line, a Jock's social media. We are literally here for you and would love your input or just any sort of exchange that you need. Reach out. Like, we're always here. We're literally live and local. So if you have someone that you listen to, reach out.
Absolutely. I will be. Yes. And then how can people find you, your show, social media, all of that good stuff?
So I'm on Instagram and Twitter at It's Emily on Air. And then you can listen to me. I'm on from 7 to midnight on Washington, D.C.'s Hot 99.5, so Eastern time. I'm on iHeartRadio app pretty much all over overnights. So yeah, listen on the iHeart app.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me.
So welcome. Stay safe, stay healthy, wash your hands, all the good stuff.